Hello and welcome to simple underscore D. In this video, I am going to explain you how to use your debt payoff tracker, and also I am going to notice a very important security step that you need to know before using this spreadsheet. You don't need to worry about the security step; it is trusty. Okay, so let's start. First, I am going to copy this link. Okay, copy this link in my another account. This is my main account where I have created the main spreadsheet, but I'm going to copy this in another account so that we can view this video with a user perspective. So when you basically copy the link from Etsy PDF, this is the interface you will see in your browser. You need to click on make copy. Okay, when you click on make copy, it basically copies your debt payoff tracker spreadsheet, and it also copies the app script. Okay, so the security step was related to app script because the when you create your app script or a code privately, okay, so it gives a warning message that you need to give access to the developer of the code. But the thing is, when you copy the spreadsheet, you basically become the sole owner of that spreadsheet, and if it has app script, you also become the developer. So that is the thing, that when you copy a spreadsheet, you are basically the developer and you don't need to worry about it. And I'm going to show you it now, okay, and I'm going to verify it. So what we need to do is, we need to go to extension, we need to go to app script, click on app script. Okay, when you click on app script, this is the entire code that appears. With the help of this code, we automate our entire spreadsheet. Okay, if you have, okay, I can understand that there is very much, no, okay, you can't trust anybody about it. So what I suggest is, you can copy the entire code, you can paste it in chat gpt, and you can see if it has any malicious code inside it. Okay, you can verify it with your own self, or else what you can do is, you can copy the entire code and you can copy it in notepad. You can delete this file, okay, delete this code file, create a new file, and paste the entire code. So basically now you are the developer of the code, okay, so you don't need to worry about it. Okay, so let's move on the authorization tabs that will pop up when you run. Okay, let's click on run. Okay, as you can see, when you click on run, only first time, okay, when you run the code first time, it will ask for permission. The app might not work as expected without providing all requested permission. Here you can click on review permission. Okay, when you click on review permission, as you can see, Google hasn't verified this app. This app is requesting access to sensitive info in a Google account. Verify this app with Google. You shouldn't use it. Here, as you can see, the developer is the email ID where we copied our spreadsheet. It will be the same with you. When you will copy your spreadsheet, the tab will appear, your email ID will be here, as Google considers you as a owner of this spreadsheet, okay, when you copy it. Now you can click on advanced, and now you can go to debt tracker unsafe. It is not unsafe, but you can go to debt tracker unsafe. Okay, when you go to debt tracker unsafe, as you can see, this message will appear, this app hasn't been verified by Google. So the thing with verification is, if you verify the entire code, it will be publicly available on Google, and it is lot expensive. Like, it is very expensive, at least for me. And the purpose of creating the code was solely for my users, of my spreadsheets, that I that will be via Etsy. Okay, basically whoever buys my product, the code is only for them, and basically it is private, so therefore it is not verified. And as you can see, here it is given, you can let the app developer know that they need to submit a request. Basically you are the app developer and you can trust yourself. And if you even and after this, even after this, if you don't trust, basically you can do the same step I suggested you earlier, copy it in notepad and etc. Now you can click on continue. Okay, when you click on continue, the code is created, but one thing is missing. We need to create a trigger for it. Okay, now let's go to trigger. As you can see, there is no trigger here. We need to create a trigger. Click on add trigger. When you click on add trigger, this pop-up tab will appear. We need to choose the function to be handle edit, and we need to select the event type as on edit. What handle edit does is it will make sure it helps with automation. So basically when you add a new debt, or you change the additional payment, or you add extra amount, handle edit will run, basically perform the entire calculation on the spreadsheet, and you don't need to visit the app script tab and run the entire code again and again to see the changes. Okay, it makes sure there is full automation. So now we can click on save. Okay, when you click on save, the same tab will appear again. Okay, what you need to do is you need to follow the same step again and again. Click on allow. As you can see, this trigger is created. Now you are ready to use your main spreadsheet. Okay, uh, even after this, if you think okay, very it is not trustworthy enough, you can follow the suggestions that I gave to you, that you can copy the code, you can create your own code file, you can paste it there and follow the entire step again if you have, if you don't trust. And the main focus of adding this section in my tutorial video was because I wanted to make sure there is 100% transparency in my product. I don't I didn't want that I didn't want that the my buyers would think okay, it is not safe to use this product. I wanted 100% transparency. Hopefully you trust it. Now we are Okay, so now we can move to our main spreadsheet. What I would suggest is first create your trigger and then run the main code. Okay, so what it does is when you create your trigger, it will ask for everything like permission, review permission, you need to allow. But when you create a trigger first and then after when you run the code, it will not ask the same thing again. Okay, it will execute the code again, like it will execute the code. Now we can move to our main spreadsheet. So here what I'm going to say is one important thing is you don't need to change today's date. It is based on current date. And what you need to do is you don't need to change the summary table. You don't need to do anything. You don't need to edit anything in this. It basically sorts your debts. Okay, and then you don't need to edit anything here in timeline, balance, extra amount. Everything is automated. You don't need to edit anything in this individual debt tables also. Okay, everything is automated here. What you can do is basically when you can add your own debt here, every information about your debts, you can choose the method. There are two methods, you can choose between them. You can choose your own currency. Almost every global currencies are present here, and you can also change your you can select your country, but country selecting a country is not like aligned with any automation. It is only for a design purpose. And you can change your start month. Okay, You can change your start month from where you are going to start paying your debt, and you can change your additional payment. Now also, okay, debt info table, you can enter the name, starting balance, annual interest. If you have monthly interest, what you can do is multiply it by 12 and write the value here, and write the minimum payment you need to pay every month to your specific debt. Okay, now I'm going to explain you how it calculates. Okay, so basically month to pay off shows the number of month that it requires to pay a uh, pay a specific debt. Okay, so as you can see, the first table is prioritized to the first priority debt. When you select a method, so let's select Snowball. Okay, when you will select Snowball, it will sort the debt in smallest to largest starting balance. So the first debt table will be assigned to the debt with the smallest balance. As you can see, it has been changed. Now if you see, the minimum payment of the smallest balance was 600, but we have additional payment of 1000, so you are paying 1600 here to the prioritized debt. And when it will be clear, and it is, and okay, so this is payment. Now interest paid is the amount of interest you paid on a balance. So as you can see, the interest paid was 15. If you divide, okay, the code will divide it in monthly basis. So almost it is like 1.3, I guess. I guess yeah, one around 1.2 or 1.3. So it will, based on the percentage, it will, you have to, it will calculate the interest paid, and then this is balance. Basically balance is the remaining amount after you pay for the month. Okay, so Jan 2026, after paying your payment and adding the interest paid, this is the amount remaining at the end of Jan 26. After you pay Feb 2026, you pay 1600, you pay interest paid on this amount. Okay, interest paid on this current balance, then this is the balance remaining, and this goes on, goes on, goes on until everything is paid. As you can see, this is blank, which means it is entirely paid. It is paid on August 2026, and the total interest paid means this, the total interest paid for the specific debt, and the total amount paid this. As you can see, you paid 679 extra, that is the total interest you paid on that debt. Okay, after this debt is cleared, basically what Snowball does is, after this is paid, this 1600 amount that you were paying a debt will be moved to your second prioritized debt, that is this, where you are paying 2000 minimum payment. As you can see, after this is clear, from next month you are paying 3600. So basically this amount was shifted here, and same goes on, it goes on, calculates. After this is cleared, this will move on to the next debt, that where to the next prioritized debt, where you are paying 5000, then it gets added, you pay 8600, and it goes on, goes on, goes on until you pay everything. So what Snowball does is, it basically it increases your payment, and basically your debts are cleared very much early than they were supposed to. Okay, it basically it's clear creates a large amount of payment at the end of the debt. And with Avalanche it is the same thing, but with Avalanche what it does is, when you click on Avalanche, it will sort the table in this order, highest interest to lowest interest. So debt 1 has highest interest. As you can see here, debt 1 has 25% of annual interest. So it will clear this. The logic is same, okay? The logic is same. When one is cleared, the 6,000 amount will be added here. 6,000 is minimum payment, which means it had a minimum payment of 5,000 and we added additional payment 6,000, and then the 6,000 will be moved here. Then it will be moved in the third prioritized. After this is paid, 8,000 will be moved here. You can see 20,000, and then you are paying 28,600. Yeah. Okay. So why it is paying 28,600? As you can see, this debt was cleared first, 600. So it also adds this amount here. So 8,000 plus 600, it means 28,600, and it gets cleared. So it basically creates a flow of cash where it clears everything fast. And here you can compare your values, which debt clear, which with the help of which debt you can basically save more money. But this is a bit wrong because there are less debt. But when you add more debt, like at least 7 to 8, Avalanche method will provide you more profit than Snowball method. Okay, hopefully you understand it. Now you can, I'm going to explain this loading. This is loading means this is the completion visual, but is it is merely based on your current date. So now it is January 2026, so it is 4%. But when the month will be Feb 2026, I guess this will become 8%. I don't know, but it is based on current timeline. So it will keep on filling until it, I mean, on Sep 2027 it will be 100%, and it goes on. Now I'm going to explain this. This is timeline. This is up to 360 month, which means I guess 360 months, no, 30 years I guess. Yeah, 30 years. So up to Jan 2000 to 2056 I guess. Yeah, this is there. This is the total balance. This total balance means the sum of all balance of the debts. So it is the sum of this nine, this balance. So basically at the end of Jan 2026, this is the total balance remaining, and it will go on reducing until it becomes $0. When it becomes $0, which means you are entirely debt free. Okay, all of your debts has been cleared. Now I'm going to show you. And okay, one more thing, it is about extra amount. Here you can add extra amount. As you can see, if I add 500 here, it will be added to the payment section of this month. Okay, only for this. Okay, as you can see here, 500 is added. You can add extra amount to a specific month you need. When the debt is cleared, okay, if you want to add extra amount here, it will be not added. It adds only to the prioritized debt. Okay, but when this debt is cleared, if you add an amount here, okay, 500 here, so it will be added to the next prioritized debt. Okay, as you can see here, it has been changed, and it similar to everything. Like when it is cleared, if you add here, it will be added to this, and it goes on like that. This is the use of extra amount. And after that, okay, I'm going to show you an example. We are going to add one more debt. I'm going to add credit card, a debt of 120k, 1,20,000, and annual interest of 18, and with a minimum payment of around 3,000. Okay. Due date is optional. You can add due date. It has nothing to do with automation. As you can see, if it has, okay, it has been added here. Okay, as you can see, it has been added. As we had the method saved as Avalanche, credit card was on fourth position, so it was added to the fourth table. And as you can see, it calculates, and everything changes. Okay, now you can see profit. Okay, profit was there for Snowball until now. Yeah, you were paying more on Avalanche, but when you add more debt, okay, let's add one more credit card to of 50,000 with interest of 12, and it was, I guess, 1,000. Yes, so now it will be added here. Yes, credit card too, as you can see, 50,000. I think it has the lowest balance. Okay, it has the lowest balance, but also it has lowest interest, so it was added here, and it gets paid here, as you can see. In a larger run, like if you have more debt, no, then the Avalanche is more profitable. Now, okay, everything is done. You can also change money. Like if you can change dollar, it will change dollar on entire tab. Okay, you need to wait for a bit. Okay, it didn't change. Wait a minute. Hmm. Okay, now it has changed. Okay, okay. Sorry, it was very tense. Yeah, it has been changed now. Okay, thank you for watching this video. Hopefully you understand everything. If you have any doubt, you can message me on my Etsy shop. This was my first video, so I was a bit nervous, and which because of which the video is too long. I guess it has been around 23 minutes, but I have explained everything in this video. Hopefully you have enjoyed it. Enjoy your product. Thank you for buying this, and you can also suggest this product to your friends. Okay, this is a very efficient product. Thank you.